So now let's examine our results in a little bit more detail. We'll start with the one that had no suppressant whatsoever. Obviously you can see this was on its way to completely turning into an uncontrolled flame. You see the score marks up here. These are not a direct result of the torch, but rather a result of the flames that were spreading from the heat from the torch. We see white ash, so this was not just a scorching heat, but this was actually starting to burn the wood here. Also the depth, it went, I don't know if you can see it there on the video, but it went not just through the first, but also through the second ply of the plywood, and you can actually see the top layer of the third ply of the plywood down here. So this was pretty bad. Moving over to the water sample that we use kind of as a control. Once again we see some white ash. So this wood was actually starting to burn here. It was starting to convert over into an open flame fire. The scorch mark isn't that big, but it's quite deep. You can see actually once again all the way down through the first ply, and the second ply is burned pretty deep as well. You can't see the third, but it was getting there. Now let's take a look at the one that we use with cold fire. Scorch mark is very big here. That's not necessarily bad. We see it's not very deep. Additionally, we see it has a little bit of depth to it, or some texture to it. That's one of the strategies that fire suppressants use. It's intumescence, where they'll actually prematurely tend to scorch the wood. It's a catalytic dehydration of the carbohydrates that make it up, actually. And that tends to form kind of a spongy layer of carbon on the top, and that helps actually insulate the wood underneath from the heat somewhat. And although it's a worse scorching effect, it helps prevent it from bursting into an open flame. Now let's take a look at the product that we're developing. A rather small scorch mark here, quite a bit smaller than the others, and not very deep. You'll notice kind of a glassy sheen. That is a different strategy of intumescence. Rather than catalyze the scorching of the wood, it forms basically there's salts in the product that actually kind of melt and form a sheen over the top that protect it. Also, you could see in the actual test video that this product had, once again, the shear thinning effect, where once it landed on the surface, particularly a perpendicular surface, as in this case, it tended to stay put, stay where it was needed, and that made it more effective against the spread of this fire. So pretty good results here.